Today, we're going to be testing out and doing some tinkering with Clawdbot, aka Moltbot. And one of the things I want to set up as a new workflow is I want to get Clawdbot to message me proactively when a competitor posts a YouTube video that performs better than average, right? So it's kind of like a competitor monitoring tool. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to go inside the chat. I'm going to say, message me proactively when a competitor posts a YouTube video that performs better than average. How can we set this up, right? And it will actually tell me what API I need to set up. Now, this is a new workflow. Never tried it before, so it'd be interesting to see if we can, number one, set it up, and number two, how well it performs. Now, if you haven't seen already, you might be asking, okay, what can you do with Moltbot or Clawdbot? They're both the same thing. It's just Clawdbot has rebranded to Moltbot this week. Essentially, you can, for example, create avatar videos, create voice clones. You can control your Chrome extension. You can do all sorts of crazy stuff like this, right? So what we're going to do over here is we can say, we can set it up, but you need to know how we measure performs better than average and how we fetch stats. The clean setup, use YouTube data API plus a scheduled job that checks competitor uploads and compares view velocity versus their baseline. Here's what we need from you. So we're going to start setting up, and then it'll be a small script that runs every 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. Or it can actually do something without an API key as well. But I'm going to see if we can get an API key. So I'm going to say how to get an API key, make sure it's all compliant with YouTube guidelines too. I think you could probably use something like Appify as well to help you as well. Nico says, this is AI. We are covering AI today. That's well observed. Mash says, hi there. Mikey says somewhere. And Paul says morning. All right, cool. So we're going to grab a YouTube API key and let's have a look. So it says here's a clean way to do it. This is Google's official way. So when you use YouTube data API to read public data, channel uploads and view counts, we're going to get a YouTube data API key. So we're going to do that from Google Cloud, as you can see. And then from there, it's going to create a project like you can see right here. All right. So we're going to get straight into this. And let's continue working on this. Samuel says, have it run on AWS instance. Have to say it's quite impressive so far. It is pretty good. Just be careful if you're using AWS or any sort of VPS when you're doing this, because, you know, it's not the best, mate. There's been a few issues with that for sure. So I'm going to navigate over to Google now. Create a new project. So let's see, how do we create a new project? One thing that I do find kind of annoying with Clawdbot is like sometimes it will tell you to do something but not explain how to do it. So I'm actually going to ask that to do it in the skill. I'm going to say, whenever you give instructions, you need to tell me exactly step by step how to do it. E.g., you can see on the page, you've linked to me. I can't see a create project option like you mentioned. Who else we got here? We got Wilty, legendary member, welcome here. And we got Carlos, always good to see you, Carlos. Thanks for joining. Samuel says, yeah, hence on AWS. However, it's great with Playwright and Chromium. Nice. All right. So we're going to look at the top bar near the Google Cloud logo. Then we're going to click the project drop down. Here we go. New project. And we've maxed out our projects. All right. Maybe I can rename one of these ones. Let's see, I've maxed out the number of projects I've created. How to add new ones. Good day. Can I apply the way you are setting this up in Google to, yeah, you can use Kimi K25 as well. And Dominic says, I need a treadmill like you're using. Need to look at Lazada to order one. Yeah, I got one off Shopee. It was about 3,000 baht. Shout out to people using Lazada and Shopee right now. Not many people know about it, to be honest. So we're going to delete one that we don't use. Let's see what we got here. We can delete this one. Says scheduled to be deleted after March the 1st. All right. Fat J says Kimi 2.5 is okay, but Claude Opus is so much better. Yeah, I would agree. Claude Opus is the best, but honestly, like ChatGPT Codex is really good. You get more tokens and you get no issues that way, right? So you're not worried about it. We got Dominic and Rayong. Shout out to you. Calvin asked about growing a business. So if you want to grow a business with Clawdbot, check out the AR profit boarding. We've got loads of training in there on how to do it. I'm using Docker on one of my servers. Does Moltbot can automation for SEO like auto post on WordPress? Yeah, it can. Yeah, it's pretty good for that actually. Let me show you an example, right? So this is a page that we published to our website targeting the keyword best SEO speakers with Clawdbot. Literally just went into Clawdbot, said create an article on best SEO speakers. If you give the login details to Clawdbot on how to log into WordPress and you create a separate account for it, then it can create content and publish it directly to WordPress just from the chat app. So yeah, it's really powerful for that. And you can see, literally, I only created it a few days ago and it's already ranking number 3 inside AI overviews. Plus it's ranking number 3 on Google directly as well. All right, so it's performing very well using that process. What computer are you running on this? Yeah, so I'm running it on a Mac Mini. Honestly, the minimal requirements are pretty basic. I think like no matter where you run it, you can run it on an old laptop or whatever, and then just run it through there. Yes, but I mean the bot itself, how it talks and things. Yeah, I would agree. Like ChatGPT doesn't have much personality when you use Clawdbot, whereas, for example, Claude, it just has so much more personality for sure. But if it costs a lot of tokens and it gets expensive, is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know about that, you know? So you do spend a lot of tokens using something like Clawdbot. So pick a project that isn't being deleted, click the link in the list, find a project with status equals active. All right, let's try that. Click the project, open it. This is like literally the least useful UI I've ever seen. We'll go back inside here. Okay, we're inside that project now. Then we just need to enable the YouTube API. So I'm going to enable it right there. And then we just need to try the API. So set up. So we've got YouTube Data API v3 here, and then we just need to set that up. So I'll do that in the background with the API key. And we need to open up the credentials bit, which I've just clicked on over here. Click create credentials, API key. Restrict the key to YouTube. Hit save. There's more details about how to set up the API for YouTube right here as well. Now I've got the API key. So I'm going to go over to Clawdbot. It should set that up in the background. What do I do if I get this error in Moltbot? This version of anti-gravity is no longer supported. I would screenshot the error and just ask Clawdbot, why are you not opening up anti-gravity, or why are you giving me this error? And then just iteratively cycle through it. Also, you can switch between Claude and Clawdbot, give them both the same error, and just keep cycling through until eventually get this solution. It might take about 3 or 4 back and forths, but eventually you get there. How do you do it without an API? Some people do it with OAuth, but I don't recommend connecting OAuth Claude. They've said don't do it. Don't do it, you know? SEO-IZ says, may I ask how long it took you to become skilled in using Clawdbot? Could you please let me know if there are any tutorials available? I'm interested in using Clawdbot to improve my website's SEO. Yeah, so I've been using it for, I mean, literally since it first came out. So it started blowing up around Saturday last week, and that's when I started using it. If you want to learn how to use it for SEO or just in general, check out the AI Profit Boardroom, link in the comments description, or just go to aiprofitboardroom.com. Go to the SAP section here, and then we've got a full section on like how to connect it to WordPress directly. With the WordPress setup guide right here. So if you want the Claude and WordPress setup guide, it's inside the AI Profit Boardroom. We've got a full 3-hour course on how to really master Clawdbot as well inside there. So if you want the details, you can go with it. All right, so it's set up the API key now. As you can see, we just plugged it in. And then it says send me 5 to 20 competitor channel links, which I'll do in a second. Pick the raw views in first 2 hours, 2x median of last 12 videos. That would be pretty good. I like option A. I'm just going to do it with an existing channel that we have that publishes like clips. I'm going to say views in first 2 hours. I can always delete this later, but I want to test if it actually works first. And let's see if it does that. I have a feeling the API key is not going to work first time around. I just know what API integration with Google Cloud is like, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Either way, it's going to be fun. Fat J says, hello, I use Kimi K2.5. It's 100 times cheaper. Moltbot isn't responding. That's exactly what I was asking you. So then you just use Claude, right? Like if Moltbot is not responding, then just use Claude, right? Go to Claude, give it the GitHub documentation, and ask it from there. When you are using Kimi within Clawdbot with OpenRouter, now you can connect Kimi K2.5 API directly. There's been no post from Claude Anthropic regarding not using .NET X. Always love your content, smashing it. Thank you very much. Never used YouTube API. Checking it out. Yeah, I found the same. I found OpenRouter was not very good with Clawdbot. And also, I think it's more expensive directly on OpenRouter, whereas you can use it cheaper directly inside there. All right. Okay. What's up, Julian? Louis says, perfect. All right. So I think we've got this set up. So it says done. Test channel is wired and running. Here's what I did. Updated the monitor so it can accept a YouTube handle. Set your test competitor in the config file. Ran the script successfully. And now it's actually scraped. So, well, it's not scraped, but it's like it's used the YouTube API to get the channel ID, check out the latest video, check out the age of the video, how many views it got, blah, 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 right? Next up, it will ping you automatically, right? Tell me how often you want checks. I'm going to say every 60 mins. And that's pretty awesome. So just to recap on that workflow, and we'll put it inside the notes here of the AI Profit Boardroom, we can monitor competitor YouTube channels, and you can do that for like, websites, whatever you want. Every time there's an outlier, it will automatically ping you, right? So it monitors my competitor YouTube channels automatically. Every time there's a competitor that does better versus everyone else versus normal, it will automatically ping me in the chat with the video idea. That's pretty insane. That is super useful as well. I mean, that's like basically, usually most people, they pay for stuff like 1of10.com. I found 1of10 was just like really outdated data. That was the only problem. Whereas now I can give it loads of competitor URLs. And if we get like a really good website, if we get a really good YouTube video idea, it will tell me, right? And it says, I've added an hourly heartbeat task, what it will do each hour. So it's going to run the API key monitor with the Python script. If the output starts with alerts, I'll message you on Telegram with the alert lines plus YouTube URLs. Next step, add more competitor channels when you're ready. Just paste the channel links. Pretty nice. And so I'm just going to do that in the background. What else we got here? Which model am I running? I'm running Codex CLI with it. That seems to be the best. SEO says, if I get the monthly, will I get access to all the video tutorials to help me achieve the same results you're getting now? Yes, you will. Yeah, it's all inside there. So when you actually sign up to the AI Profit Boardroom, let me show you what you get for the monthly, right? So if you sign up here, you get access to the AI Profit Boardroom, which means you get number one, 4 weekly coaching calls a week, so you can jump on live coaching calls. And number two, inside the community, you can ask any questions you have, right? If you're in the SEO industry, for example, you can type in SEO in the search bar, go to members, and you can see all the SEOs that are in there right now. On top of that, you can get all of my best SEO trainings, like you can see. And if you go to the classroom, you get access to all of these video tutorials. Now, if you want to learn how to use Clawdbot specifically, go to the Moltbot, formerly known as Clawdbot section here. You got a full 3-hour course. You got full setup guides for everything that I've used it for, including WordPress setup, right? So if you want to get WordPress setup, you can see the WordPress setup with Clawdbot right there. So it's all inside here directly. I mean, if I go to Clawdbot here, right, as you can see, I've plugged in my competitors now. And if I say, right, okay, create a guide on the YouTube alerts automation you just created, plus publish it to WordPress, right? And I've also got a link to Notion as well, so I can create Notion pages too. But if I say, okay, create a guide on the YouTube's automation you just created as a blog post with setup instructions, SOPs, etc., and a full guide, plus publish it to WordPress, what it's going to do is it's going to take all that information that I just took, right? The full guide, the full instructions, the whole process, the whole system, and it's going to create a blog post using that, optimize it for SEO, and then publish it on my WordPress website as a blog post. And it will publish it directly to WordPress automatically. It actually uses a sub agent for this and a skill that I've pre-programmed. I show it all inside the AI Profit Boardroom section right here. And yeah, it's really powerful for SEO. So if we go back inside now, you can see Clawdbot is typing. You just have to wait for that to finish, and then it will be done completely. Wilty says, how often do you update the how-to sections for different models in the AI Profit Boardroom? So we have multiple sections, right? So let me show you some examples. I think we're maybe the only AI community that actually does this, right? So if you go inside here, you can see that we update it every single day, right? So Moltbot, we updated this section literally just now on this live stream. For the 28th of January, which was just 2 days ago, we show you how to switch Moltbot from Claude to Codex. Inside this section, we show you how to a free Clawdbot masterclass. We actually added 3 new sections. So if you go inside the classroom and then SOP updates January 2026, you can get all the latest SOPs for using this stuff, right? So we literally update it daily. As soon as there's a new AI model, you know me, I'm on YouTube, I'm sharing what I'm learning, as you can see right here. So you've got Moltbot, 28th of January, 27th, 26th, etc. Everything that I learn, I test it within hours of the new update. I do a live stream like this. And then when I have the setup guide and I've mastered the skill, I put it inside the AI Profit Boardroom as a system that you can use. Now, if you want like the evergreen stuff that doesn't change, and you just like, I want the system, I don't want to do stuff daily, maybe you've only got an hour a week, then just stick to these modules, right? Or stick to the community. But if you want to go super deep down the rabbit hole, like I am, then you can check out the daily updates here. So whether you've got 1 hour a week, that's totally fine. Whereas if you've got like a lot of time and you want like daily updates, check out the SOP section right here where we do daily updates. And you can see we actually, on the about page of the AI Profit Boardroom, We actually mention when the course was last updated, and we literally update it every single day. Boom. All right, so if we go back to Clawdbot now, we have the new WordPress page published on how to set up YouTube competitor alerts. Like you can see, so this was published directly to WordPress using this process. And then there you go, you're good to go. All right. So it shows you, okay, here's what you're gonna do, here's what you need, here's how the alert rule works, how to get an API key, how to enable it, how to add competitor channels. And you can see like it took the whole process, and it did use my local files, but it doesn't show any API keys. And this is all hosted locally, so it's siloed off from the rest of the world. Right? And that's basically how it goes. So step by step, it not just understands the process, but actually teaches other people how to do this too. And by the way, if you want the full step-by-step process for setting this up, like you can see right here on WordPress, then inside the AR Profit Boardroom, I'm going to add a new section called YouTube Competitor Alerts. And so if you want a monitoring system like this, we've added it in, plus this tutorial video right here, right? So you can just get the process directly from me inside the AR Profit Boardroom. So let's go back to Clawdbot now. And we set up the first automation. That worked really well. If I want to redo all of the content silos, keyword densities, and everything on an existing website, can any of these tools do this? Yes, so Clawdbot can update existing pages. So for example, if I go inside here, right, I'm like, okay, can you add a nice relevant image to the post plus links to the AI Profit Boardroom? And then I'll put a link to the AI Profit Boardroom here. We should be able to edit that page directly on WordPress. Also, I'd like you to switch it to a blog post, not a page. And then we should be able to update it. I've not tried that, but I think we could probably do it. What else we got here? Code Chimp says, Julian, glad I made it. Are you walking now when you go live? I am now. Yeah, how many steps have I done today? It's 7 a.m. in the morning. I've done 11,300 steps. Crushing it. SEO says, how complex is the setup process for running Clawdbot on a VPS? I'm looking to run Clawdbot on my own VPS to support large-scale SEO automation. Will I get access to video tutorials that cover VPS? Honestly, like I said, I mean, I've said it probably 5 times today already, but like, don't set it up on a VPS, because if you run it on a VPS, you can be exposed pretty easily, right? There's actually people scraping VPS pages right now to try and get access to other people's Clawdbots. And the problem is, if you give, like, for example, WordPress access to Clawdbot, and then someone scrapes your VPS and they get access to your VPS, right? Well, then they can hack your website. Not good, no bueno, right? And so you want to make sure that you're not using a VPS. Just run it locally. If all the security issues that I've seen so far come from 2 things. Number one is running it on VPS because people can get access to that from the outside, and it creates a gateway page where anyone can log in. And then number two is prompt injection. So for example, this is why I don't connect to my emails, but if you connect your emails to Clawdbot and someone emails Clawdbot pretending to be you, well, potentially they could manipulate Clawdbot into deleting your emails or sending emails that you don't want to, etc. Right? And so, number one, avoid problems with gateway pages by not using a VPS, and then number two, avoid using your emails or anything where people could manipulate Clawdbot with prompt injection. These are the two things you want to avoid. So if we have a look here, we've now got the blog post right here, and you can see that it said, right, I've added a nice relevant image, added a clear CTA at the top, linking to the app offboarding. I've switched it from a page to a blog post, as you can see right here, right? And then if we go, we've got the blog post set up, as you can see, right? That was quite easy to set up on the page, like you can see, right? And if you're wondering, okay, like, does this work, etc. So if you actually check out our search console for juliangoldie.com over the last sort of 3 months, you can see that it went from previously 74 clicks a day all the way up to like 561 clicks a day, as you can see right here, right? So you can actually create content with Clawdbot. You can rank it, as I've shown today. It can publish directly to WordPress, and that is a very powerful skill, right? Wilty says, very important information. Thanks, Julian. Always happy to help. You know me, like I'd have your best interests at heart. Like I don't want to see anyone get any issues from this, and it's better to be safe than sorry. That's what I would recommend. Just play it safe and don't do anything that you don't feel comfortable with. That's what I'd recommend to anyone watching. All right, so that was the first workflow done, messaging me proactively. What I also want to do is I want to say analyze my YouTube videos and give me new video ideas daily based on what's working. So I'm going to say analyze my existing YouTube videos each day, give me proactive video ideas based on what's already working, and tell me what to avoid too, right? I'm going to say, here's my YouTube channel. So I publish about, I would say, anywhere between 5 to 12 videos a day on this channel. And what I want you to do is act as a YouTube content expert and tell me what's in the bottom 90% and what's in the top 10%, so that I know which videos to focus on more when I'm creating more content for my channel. If you can do that each day, that would be great. Thank you. And now we should be able to set that up running as a daily skill. Coach Jim says, just joined your school. Welcome very much. Thanks very much for joining it. Plans to nomad and take my vibe coding more seriously. Awesome, man. Congrats. Honestly, if I was starting like you, I would probably go with client work, because a lot of companies out there, they're looking for people who are experts with AI, and they're looking for people who can help them automate more stuff. So if you're deep into this and you need to just get like 1 or 2 clients so that you can go nomad and travel, that's probably the best place to start. It's like, try and get some clients. It will help you. Code Chimp has 2 clients. All right, awesome, man. Congrats. And then Department of Personal Efficiency says, hello, just joined. Welcome, sir. Welcome. So we're going to get Clawdbot to set up this new automation which monitors my channel daily, gives me some ideas, and then from there, tells me, okay, here's what's in the bottom 9%, here's what's in the top 10%. Do more of this, do less of that, right? Which is something that I genuinely have to like manually do, and it's super annoying. Whereas with this, we can just go ahead, right? What else we got here? SEO says, in that case, what setup or environment would you recommend for the best performance and stability? Mac Mini has been the best for me out of everything that I've tried. Also, is the recommended setup a paid service, or are there free options available? So if you set it up on a Mac Mini, right, then it's running locally, which means that it's going to be more secure. And then also, when it comes to the setup, do not connect Gmail, do not connect your emails, etc. GitHub itself for setting up Clawdbot is free, right? So you can use it for free, and there's no issues there. If you want to know how to set this up, just check out the instructions inside the Clawdbot course right here. We show you step by step how to set this up. And then when it comes to the API, I would recommend upgrading to Plus or Pro on ChatGPT, and then using Codex CLI with OAuth, right? Because then you get a lot more tokens. It doesn't cost you anything extra than your ChatGPT subscription, and you can run Clawdbot really well. It's really good for coding and everything else. It doesn't have much personality inside Clawdbot itself, but I'm actually going to come on to a nice, interesting way to fix that in a minute. So here we've got what I set up: daily top 10% versus bottom 90%. Analyzer, project folder, script, metrics, views per hour, so new uploads aren't unfairly, blah, blah, blah. Output includes top 10% examples. I ran a test. It's already pulling your recent winners and losers correctly. Daily proactive report scheduled. Added a daily cron job. So every day at 8 a.m. It will trigger to run the report for you. And it says one tweet question: because you post 5 to 10 today, do you want the daily report to analyze the last 60 videos or the last 200 videos? I'm going to go with, let's go with the last 60. Also, can you do a test run now so I can see an example of the report? Department of Efficiency said, yeah, I've already done a video about that, but basically this is why I switched over to using Codex instead of Anthropic, right? So if you're using OAuth from Anthropic with Clawdbot, that's not bueno, right? That's not bueno. But you can use ChatGPT Codex CLI, as far as I'm aware, right? Do you use Opus 4.5 all the time? No, I use ChatGPT Codex CLI. And the other option that you have now is Kimi K2.5, which I might set up in a second. What's your thoughts on Agent Zero? Pretty cool, but nowhere near the same level as Clawdbot, honestly, from what I've seen. So I quite like Agent Zero. I've got quite a few videos on YouTube about it, but I still prefer Clawdbot right now. Does Clawdbot eat up the same amount of RAM as Claude Code or more? Not as far as I've seen. No, it seems to be pretty lightweight because it's running in the cloud. Whereas, you know, like you've got Claude Code, which seems to take up a lot more space. But I don't know. I'm not like 1,000,000% certain on that one. I would just check it out and do the test yourself. So let's see. So it's now analyzed the top 10% versus the bottom 10% of the views per hour. It says here's the baseline average, here's the top threshold, and here's the top 10% of what's working, right? So it says Clawdbot, automate anything, free AR course, that's doing well. New Gemini agentic vision update is performing really well so far, 11,000 views. We've got anti-gravity and Moltbot, automate anything, that's doing pretty good. Gemini update, AI Studio update. So these ones are doing really well, right? And then we've got these bottom 9% that we want to avoid, right? So for example, you've got Clawdbot AI SEO, not so good, doesn't do so good, right? 3 new Chinese AI are insane, didn't do so well. This new free design tool beats Google. I can understand why as well. Like some of this stuff sounds super boring. And it's like what to avoid. And then next 5 ideas, right? So free tool destroys paid alternatives. Update workflow that gets results in 10 minutes, right? I copied a competitive Clawdbot strategy. Here's what happened, blah, 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 right? Pretty nice. If you want this to be even more useful daily, I can add 2 extra sessions. So repeat winners and this one as well. So I'm actually going to do that. Yes, add those. So, okay, I will try Clawdbot, but running on my laptop in a sandbox container is perfectly fine. I don't know 100% what you mean by like sandbox container. I know some people are using Docker for this, and then also I just run it in terminal, like just running it locally on a Mac Mini. Is this Clawdbot running locally or in VPS? As I've said many times, don't use a VPS. like, I've said it about 10 times, but don't use a VPS for Clawdbot. Code Jim says yes, Docker. Yeah, I know quite a few people running Docker with Clawdbot as well. So, yeah. So this is fixing the automation now to add the repeat winners section as well. But that should be one of the best things that I've just automated, because usually I have to do that daily myself. Analyze my YouTube videos, see what's performing, blah, blah, blah. Whereas this will save me a lot of time and a lot of analysis, which is awesome. Right? What else we got here? So we got a bunch of posts inside the AI Profit Boardroom about Clawdbot as well. So what's everyone feeling? Like, is it hype, etc.? I said the hype is real, but only if you use it correctly, right? Also, experience to work with Clawdbot. Salmon actually posted like his experience and how he set it up, etc. And that's pretty cool. It was a super useful post. Would recommend checking that out too. The name of your Clawdbot, let's see what people have called it. Pepe, someone called it. DJ Lobster. Hector. What else we got here? Yeah, there's so much cool stuff you can do with it. I mean, there's loads of people posting about it, how to be careful with it as well, as you can see. Lots of people installing Clawdbot inside the AI Profit Boardroom as well. So yeah, there's loads. If you want to connect with people doing this, like join the AI Profit Boardroom. So now we've got the new sections added to the daily reports, so the repeat winners, like you can see. And then it will just post it inside the chat here. Right, so you can see here. Okay, here's 3 fast things that we could set up right now. Pretty nice. Let's see what we got here. So B recommends using Proxmox. Not tried that out. Yip says, why don't use VPS? Because of security problems. Department of Personal Efficiency says, I bought a Minis Forum mini PC for my daily driver vibe coding machine. What's your way to make the usage more cost effective when I want to build NA10 workflows? So actually, I just use Clawdbot now. I don't really build NA10 workflows. I find like if I can have everything linked inside a simple Telegram chat like this, that's going to work way better and way faster than using something like NA10. And honestly, like most entrepreneurs I know are using AI to really scale their business, but they're not using NA10, right? And I don't know many people who actually get good results with NA10 when it comes to comparing that versus something like Clawdbot. I think Clawdbot just, it gives you better results overall. And I think it's a lot more practical and a lot more like useful because it can just go out in the real world and do stuff, right? Whereas, for example, NA10 is kind of limited to its only little, it's a little container, if that makes sense. Coach Chimp says I run Proxmox on a Geekom. Also got a Mac Mini Basic. SEO says I plan to run Clawdbot 24/7. Yeah, so I would recommend using a Mac Mini. I don't know why you would want to use like a Windows server for that. And I don't use Windows, so it's not something that I recommend. Yeah. I would recommend just going for just going for a Mac Mini setup. No VPS. Don't use Windows. I mean, who uses Windows? Like, it's no bueno. No bueno. especially if you're interested in productivity. It's because you can create Python far faster than NA10 workflows. Yeah, 100%. It Machine says, personally saying clear from Clawdbot for at least another 6 months. More than likely, a big provider with the right backend security will launch some similar functionality. Yeah, I mean, like, I think right now, if you look at everything that we've got, I would say that Clawdbot is like the closest thing we've got to AGI. And it's interesting that it's come from an open source plugin, but like I think in the future, yeah, you'll see something like I probably Claude will launch your own thing that'll be better. Yeah. Is the Cloudflare workers setup more? Yeah, I've actually heard good things about the Cloudflare setup. I might set up today just for fun, see if we can do it. So just to recap there, we set up 2 automations to monitor our competitors. One of them, we said, message me proactively when a competitor posts a YouTube video that performs better than average. And I gave it a bunch of channel links, and now it's set up for a daily report. The other one that we did is say, analyze my YouTube videos, write in, and just give me some ideas on what's the top 10% and what's the bottom 10% for the day, so that I've just automated 2 tasks I normally have to do manually myself. That's pretty cool. If you want to get all the notes from today, you can get that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments description, or go to aiprofitboardroom.com. Inside the community, you can ask any questions and get help and support whenever you need it. And also, you can see here that it's not just me winning with AI, right? Everyone inside the AI Profit Boardroom is winning, building stuff, creating stuff. It's an amazing place today. You can see, for example, Norbert win today with AI mode and search engine. You've got, for example, Kevin building his very first app with AI. And then you've got, for example, Maddie who's crushing it with SEO as well, as you can see, right? So if you want to join the AI Profit Boardroom, feel free to, link in the comments description. You also get 4 weekly coaching calls. You could drop on live calls, get help, get support whenever you need it. And also inside the classroom here, we have all of our best training. So you can see, for example, we show you how to go from complete beginner to expert with AI, plus how to build your first AI agent in under 5 minutes. Additionally, you'll learn how to create AI avatar videos and all of my best playbooks for marketing, including like X automations, how to automate shorts, Instagram, newsletters. It's all inside the AI Profit Boardroom with video tutorials and step-by-step guides. And then also you can see here, we have a full 3-hour course on how to use Clawdbot or Moltbot, full setup guides for everything that I've set up, as you can see right here. And then also you can see inside this section, we have the full tutorial on what I set up today with a step-by-step guide. And basically everything you'd need to know about Moltbot is inside the AI Profit Boardroom. So feel free to get it. Link in the comments description.